Hello everyone, Katsura here speaking, internet's busiest anime nerd, and I figured it's time I talk about what animes I'm currently watching for the winter 2025 season of anime that has to offer. So with this, I'm basically just going to go over briefly all the shows that I'm currently watching. As you can see, there's already shows that you're seeing right on screen that I am watching at the moment. But I'll just talk about how I feel about some of these, how some of the earlier episodes, see how I feel about them, and give my full thoughts of like where I feel the shows are going to go from there. And of course, as always, once each of these shows are over, I will do and post a formal review of each of these shows when they are done, per se. So without further ado, let's get into the shows that I am currently watching. So before we go into the Winter 2025 lineup, I figured it's only right that I go through the animes that are currently airing from last year of fall 2024 that I am watching currently. First off, Dragon Ball Daima. Um, as of me recording this, I've watched only 13 episodes of Dragon Ball Daima. Look, all I can say is Dragon Ball Daima. It's an okay show. If you love Dragon Ball GT and you like Super per se, this show is basically good for you. For me, I have a little bit of some mixed feelings about the show overall, but either way, I think the show's doing pretty good. Animation's fire, music is fire, the fight choreography is good. And that's all I'm going to say about Dragon Ball Daima. Next, we have Blue Box, or Ao no Hako. Now, this one, unfortunately, I have dropped recently. However, um, I am acknowledging how good the show is for its slice of life sports, anime, romantic side of things. And again, as I've stated originally, Blue Box is one of the best shows to come out of 2024, and undoubtedly I've heard that the show is actually picking up momentum, so undoubtedly this drop is actually going to become a watching pretty soon, and most likely I'm going to be playing catch up on this show because I've heard it's been getting way better as of late. All right, next we have the fifth season of Danmachi. Now this one is an interesting one because um, I feel like they should be airing the last four episodes, but as of right now, only 11 episodes of the show is officially out at the moment. And while it's not as great as season 4, part 2, which I have praised pretty highly about when it came out, I think the fifth season is like sort of coming close to that mark a little bit. I just think it really depends on how these last four episodes pan out, but hopefully these last four episodes when they eventually come out comes out. But uh, but we'll see how it goes. But I am looking forward to seeing how Damn Watch season 5 comes and concludes, and I'll take it from we'll leave it at that. And last but not least, ReZero season 3. Again, one of my top 5 favorite shows of 2024 of last year. The first half was absolutely amazing. The second half, of course, is going to start airing in February of 2025 this year, and I cannot wait to see how the second half of season 3 pans out because season 3 ReZero has been crushing it, man, and that's all I gotta say about ReZero. All right, but now that that's out of the way, let's get into the actual shows that I'm actually focused and watching at the moment. First and foremost, Solo Leveling Season 2, Arise from the Shadows. First two episodes of the show, really good, really great. Animation's fire. The progression plot of where our main character Song Ji Woo is as of late is at a whole new level. Animation is gorgeous, music is stunning, and overall, even though we only got two episodes at the moment, I think that this show has a lot to offer and has a lot of potential to be like a really great anime that's actually going to even succeed potentially the first season that's itself pretty high on. All right, next on here we have Sakamoto Days. Um, Honestly, after watching two episodes of Sakamoto Days, my feelings of the show is that it's pretty good. I am surprised that you have a part two of the first season, which is sadly this trend that is going on at mainstream anime as of late, where it's like they drop the first season and then they broke it up into two parts, and it's been going on since 2020. But regardless of that trend, I think Sakamoto Days is pretty good. I think if you are like a spy family enthusiast, that's pretty much what you're gonna expect when watching Sakamoto Days. It's really good. Animation's fire. The fighting is amazing. The comedy on the show is downright great, and it's surprisingly really wholesome for a show that it for what it dives deep into. And that's all I can say about Sakamoto Days. Next, we have the amazing Apothecary Diary Season 2. I gotta say, after 2 episodes of watching this show, this is really, really good. They're still crushing it, man. The first season of Posterity Diaries was amazing when it first came out. The second season, based off of these 2 episodes so far, is still leaving me like curious and wondering like where the next plot point of our set of our protagonists are going to go into, and how is it going to connect into the first season. And I cannot wait because this was definitely my top 5 anime of 2023 of that year for sure. All right. Next, we have another show that's here. My Happy Marriage Season 2. Again, another pretty good show that at the time I actually did like. My only qualm with the show is that it is playing a little bit safe right now with how the progression of the story is heading at the moment. And I just wish that there's like a little bit oomph or a little bit of spice to like make it interesting because the first season actually had some really cool, really compelling, and the second season right now, I feel like it's playing it a little too safe, but it does have a lot of the good qualities that made it special from its first season counterpart. And that's really all I'm happy to report on. Um oh yeah, sadly, just to skip through this, I'm not watching Doctor Stone Science Future, which is the fourth season of Doctor Stone. I sadly have not gone into Doctor Stone, and look, at the end of the day, if you like Doctor Stone, maybe this is a show for you, but I'm just not into it. I'm sorry. Because what I'm actually into is the second season of The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, Really Love You, of course. Man, I'm telling you, man, first episode of this show, I'm in love with it already. It is hilarious. It's still keeping the momentum that the first season set itself pretty high on. This was up there for being one of my favorite shows out at the moment, and super freaking unique. And I can't wait to see how the second season kind of divulges into. Also, Billberry Animation Studios is still crushing with the animation. Again, they've been coming out ever since with the Quintessential Top Season 2, and they've been crushing it ever since then. Again, great show, hilarious show. Can't wait to see how Season 2 pans out. All right, next on here, we are going into, I think, our first brand new show in here outside of Sakamoto Days. I'm getting married to a girl I hate in my class. Yeah, it's like your typical rom com comedy anime fiasco. I will say honestly, it's nice, it's funny, but like at the same time, I'm a little on the fence with the show, given how it is a little bit over the top with the comedy, some more or less all the time. On top of that, the premise of the show has been covered already by every other past anime rom com show that's come in the sun in the past. So while it's definitely not reinventing anything new, I think it's fine. It's just probably not going to be my favorite anime of the year. That's all I have to say. But right now, it is diving into some really weird, awkward territory that I'm not super sure about, to be honest with you. And that's all. All right, next we have Honey Lemon Soda. Now, this show, oh my god, Honey Lemon Soda. This show is interesting. This one could be the best fun batch show of the year because while the animation and the art style looks really cool and nice, trust me when I say this. Watch the first 2 episodes, and you're gonna be left wondering, like, bro, why are these characters and the dialogue sound so goddamn stupid? It's so stupid, in fact. I feel like this was written by ChatGPT, which I don't want to make a comparison of, but Jesus Christ, it's so freaking stupid. And at times, I'm actually laughing at it instead of actually like feeling the emotions and the serious moments that come into the show. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, if they keep this momentum going and not make it like really boring and bland, this could be the best fun bad anime of the year. And it's right now it's tough to beat this one. I'll say that much. All right, next we have Zenshu. This one is kind of ironic given that this is by Mappa Studios, and if everyone knows the controversy surrounding Mappa Studios and how it's been treating its work, its animators, it's kind of ironic to decide to make a show about an animator that's kind of overworked, dies, and then gets isekai into a different world. You know what I mean? Like it sounds too coincidental, too good to be true. I've watched two episodes of this. I think it's fine. It has something to really go for, but given the concept, given like where it's heading, I'm not so sure if it's gonna really stick the landing. But I mean, we'll see. It is definitely keeping me interested about where the show is heading towards as the season progresses, and I'll leave it at that. All right, next we have this really long ass title, but I'm gonna probably say it as best I can. Ugh, I may be a good receptionist, but also any boss to clock out on time. This one is a pretty interesting one. Another anime that has potential to be like a really good, fun, bad anime to come out of this year. And not only is this anime pretty damn well by Cloverworks, but the voice actress of this main character is actually none other than Takahashi Rei, who voices Emilia from ReZero and Megami from Konosuba, if you know her massive, massive works. So, because of that, I'm definitely going to be watching this show as the season progresses because the first two episodes of the show have been pretty good, pretty hilarious. Nothing too out of the ordinary, obviously, but honestly, if you're a Takahashi Rei fan, you are definitely gonna get a lot of bang for your buck for this show, and it's overall pretty fun, pretty like just down bad stupid sometimes when it comes to the dialogue and where it goes, and I think we can go and leave it at that. All right, next we have another show that again we have a lot. We surprisingly have a lot of fun bad shows, but this one is interesting. Next we have Medaka Kawaria is impervious to my charms, which is a show about a girl who literally was blessed with the gift of of having the best charms out there, and she gets every guy to fall in love with him, every girl to be also happy about it, but then there's one guy, this guy, that's like, no, I can't do this. I can't be amazed by the beauty and the madness of her charms. No, I can't do that. And that's basically what the show's all about. Again, it's a really fun, bad, really dumb comedy show, and while there are moments that it tries to take itself a little bit seriously, and you do kind of understand why the main guy is doing what he's doing, I'm not gonna lie when I say this when I feel like this is kind of like what would happen if Rent a Girlfriend was taken into an alternate universe, I guess. So yeah. All right. Next on here is, oh yeah, we have Toliba Hanako-kun, which is a show that I was gonna watch it originally, but given my thoughts and feelings of the first season and the spin-offs that came afterwards, I'm not super crazy nor interested of this show anymore. Given that season two is fine, I don't think there's any qualms with it, but I don't think it's just not for me. That's all I have to say about it. All right. And then yes, as we're going through this, there's like some shows here I'm not watching at the moment, but there's just some that just weren't as interesting when I went through this. However, there are two shows off of here that you're seeing that look really interesting. Let's start off with the first half. The first one being Beheneko, the Elf Girl's Cat is Secret in the S rank monster. Yeah, look, to put it in a nutshell, it's basically about a dude who was a loyal knight who dies and gets isekai'd by you name it. He gets isekai and transformed to a cat. Now, obviously, we had a show like this come out not that long ago with the infamous and polarizing Inukai San's dog, but I have great news that this show is not like Inukai San's dog, and at least for right now. The first three episodes leaves a lot to be desired, and because it's just typical isekai uh, meander bullshit. But again, it's not leaned towards the stupid Inukai San's dog route. that made it so freaking deranged, so freaking scarring, and so fucked up that you don't want to tune into the show. I think this is a okay, passable show, and I'm just gonna watch the rest of it to see how the show pans out because, again, we're getting these really weird isekai generic spin-offs that are just super super bad that I don't even know what to say. Because speaking of that, we have another show of this caliber with even given the Worthless Appraiser class, I'm actually the strongest. Yep, you know that this show is super long and weird, and the fact this is under Okuroto Nobu Studios is like, yeah, I'm actually excited for this. I'm not gonna lie. The first two episodes of the show were really funny, really hilarious, really predictable, of course. But listen, if you know Okuroto Nobu Studios, they're the main brains that gave us Viral Hit, the Cheat Skill, Isekai, Tomodachi games, and even my favorite to this day, the Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter, which is like a masterpiece of fun bad anime that I would highly, highly recommend watching to this day. So again, with the show I mentioned with the Praiser anime, it has a lot of shoes to fill, but right now it's filling those shoes pretty good for being a fun bad anime. And we just gotta see how much can it push the limit of being like a really weird fun bad anime to begin with. All right, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up with a few more pickings that I want to talk about. First off, we have this I'm Living with an Otaku ni Konoichi, which originally I was actually interested in the show given the premise and the concept, but unfortunately the first episode just didn't stick with me, which left me no choice but to drop it altogether. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. It just is a really boring, bland show overall. Next, we have this show, which, oh my god, the daily life of a middle aged online shopper in another world. Yup. And just when you thought that the last anime about a dude getting isekai as a cat was weird, nope. How about a middle aged man gets isekai, but now has the powers to literally shop on Amazon to get all the things he needs? It's so weird. And on top of it, it's probably, in my opinion, without just to spoil this already, this is probably the worst anime of the year. And I've tried sitting through the first two, three episodes of this show, and it is hard to sit through. It really, truly is hard. It is boring. It is bland. It's not even that funny at all. It tries to be funny and interesting, but at times it just comes off really weird and cringy in the process. So for anyone watching this video, just know this show guarantees going to be my top 10 worst animes of 2025 because this is absolutely terrible and humiliating to watch this to begin with. I might try and pick it up again, but I can't even bother trying to wrap my head if it's even worth it or not. Let's see. And then, last but not least, is a show that I dropped and I actually reviewed recently, Momentary Lily, by Gohan Studios. This show is is pretty bad, man. Look, I already reviewed this show in length, so if you want to know why the show's so bad, you can check out the video that I posted about Momentary Lily. But just know this show is a journey, man. It makes you have migraines. It makes you have a headache. It makes you wonder what's the point of this show even existing. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that. So yeah, this is my overall what am I watching in winter of 2025 season of anime. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.